He goes on the show and says, I guess they can't say OTF didn't slide for King Von.
After Bricc Baby got arrested by federal agents and faced a federal indictment, he did something unexpected. He allegedly snitched on Lil Durk, saying that Durk was involved in the attempted murder of Quando Rondo and the murder of El Pap. On a show, Bricc Baby shocked everyone when he said, I guess they cannot say OTF did not slide for King Von. This statement sent the internet into a frenzy and made the tension between people even worse. As more OTF members were getting arrested, Bricc Baby quickly became the center of attention. Things got even more heated when members of the Rollin' 60s started accusing Bricc Baby of betraying Quando Rondo in Los Angeles. Now, both the streets and the courts are waiting to see what happens next. People started asking if Bricc Baby really snitched on Lil Durk. Here's what we know. Bricc Baby was arrested in connection with a Rollin' 60s Rico trial. However, the big talk is that in court, Bricc Baby started talking about Lil Durk's possible involvement in the murder of El Pap, a friend of Quando Rondo. The official documents suggest that Bricc Baby is now a key witness in the case, and many believe he may have helped the authorities make a case against Lil Durk. Rumors are saying that Bricc Baby is trying to get his own charges dropped. To do this, he allegedly gave the authorities a detailed story about Lil Durk's role in El Pap's death. He said that the murder happened as revenge for King Von's death. According to Bricc Baby, at that time, Quando Rondo and Lil Durk were having a very public fight. This feud started after a member of Quando's group shot and killed an OTF rapper on November 6, 2020. Things are getting more complicated for Bricc Baby as both the courts and the streets are closely watching him. Devin Bennett, also known as King Von, tragically lost his life in 2020. Since then, the situation has only gotten more complicated. The latest twist involves Bricc Baby and whether or not he snitched on Lil Durk. Music executive Wack 100 recently spoke up, especially after Durk's arrest last year. Wack claimed that Bricc Baby had been talking to the feds the entire time. Wack said that when the authorities first looked into the attack on Quando Rondo, they thought it was just a bad drug deal. But once Bricc Baby started talking, everything changed. Wack highlighted that Bricc Baby's comments were important, especially when he said, I guess they cannot say OTF did not slide for King Von. This made people question whether Bricc Baby had already talked to the feds about Durk before. If you think this is the first time Bricc Baby has been involved in something like this, you are wrong. Remember when the feds raided Bricc Baby's house and arrested him for a gun charge? Wack 100 revealed that the gun charge was just a cover. The feds were actually after Bricc Baby because of Lil Durk's case. During the raid, they found an AK-47, and they used this to pressure Bricc Baby into talking. Wack explained the timeline of events. In February 2023, Bricc Baby allegedly snitched on Lil Durk during an interview with Flacco. Then, in March 2023, the feds started watching Bricc Baby closely. By June 2023, they raided his house and took his phone, where they found the gun. Even though Bricc Baby was charged with having an illegal firearm, the case was mysteriously dropped after Lil Durk was arrested. Wack believes that the most important detail here is that Bricc Baby's phone connected the feds to Lil Durk's involvement in the murder of Quando Rondo's friend, El Pap. After King Von died, the streets were already buzzing with the idea that Durk would seek revenge. But it was Bricc Baby's actions that pushed things even further. In 2022, Quando Rondo's SUV was attacked in Los Angeles. While Quando survived, El Pap, a close friend, lost his life. At first, it seemed like an isolated event, but when Bricc Baby began talking about it in interviews, things started to connect. He even hinted that Lil Durk had ordered the hit on Quando as revenge for King Von's death. Bricc Baby did not hold back when he spoke about Lil Durk. He openly talked about how Lil Durk had been involved in the death of El Pap, claiming it was a way to get revenge on Quando Rondo for the murder of King Von. This is not something that should have been said in an interview, but Bricc Baby seemed eager to share everything he knew. Fans were quick to criticize him for talking too much. One person even called him Snitch Baby for spilling all these details on the internet where everyone could hear it. Even though fans were upset, Bricc Baby kept talking. He seemed proud to mention OTF's involvement in El Pap's murder. But when the feds charged Lil Durk and others in connection to the murder plot, Bricc Baby looked shocked. He was on a live show when the news broke, and fans captured his reaction. He looked stunned, like he realized how much trouble his words had caused. For a moment, he could not say anything, but after a little while, he quickly tried to change the topic. This moment made fans question if Bricc Baby really did not know what was coming. His surprise when the indictment came out made people think he might have known more than he let on. The indictment revealed that someone had given Lil Durk the location of Quando Rondo, and fans quickly started to wonder if Bricc Baby was that person. After all, he had a close relationship with Quando Rondo, despite the tension between their groups. In an interview with Vlad TV, DJ Vlad asked Bricc Baby directly about the rumors. Bricc Baby denied everything, saying that if he were involved, he would not be able to speak so openly. He explained that his friendship with Quando Rondo was separate from the drama between their groups. He said that he and Quando had talked multiple times, and he kept their relationship away from all the beef. Even though Bricc Baby denied being involved, many people still thought he had a role in it. Some believed that he used his connection to Quando Rondo to give Lil Durk important information about Quando's whereabouts. This theory became stronger after Quando Rondo publicly said he had been backdoored by someone in the Rolling 60s. Since Bricc Baby was known to be a member of the Rolling 60s, people started thinking he might have been the one who gave up the information.
They said that or co-conspirator number 4 is...
When DJ Vlad asked him about these rumors, Bricc Baby seemed confused and his answers did not make sense. This made fans even more suspicious, as his reaction seemed unconvincing. The more Bricc Baby spoke, the more people believed he might have been hiding something. When people were still trying to figure out who co-conspirator number 4 was, many fans thought they knew the answer, but Bricc Baby quickly shut them down. He said that the world might think they had figured it out, but the truth was different. It seemed like he wanted to throw people off the trail. One person commented directly on Bricc Baby, saying, "We see right through you, Brick Boy," which many fans found funny. Others joked that the whole interview was just Bricc Baby's way of paying for his lawyer's fees. It looked like a lot of people were starting to believe that Bricc Baby was actually co-conspirator number 4 and that he had snitched on Lil Durk. Some fans even called him a proud snitch and made fun of him for acting like his betrayal was something to be proud of. But Bricc Baby was not the only one involved in this mess. Reports soon began to surface saying that Lil Durk had a snitch within his own group. The shocking part was that the person who betrayed him had been a close member of his team for years. This person, known as OTF Jam, had secretly worked with the authorities and gave them information that directly connected Lil Durk to the attempted murder of Quando Rondo, which led to the death of El Pap. The news about the betrayal from an OTF member spread quickly, and many people were shocked. OTF Jam had spent 12 years in prison for attempted murder, and when he was released in 2022, he received a lot of support from Lil Durk and his crew. Jam even got gifts and respect from OTF, with Durk showing him loyalty. But behind the scenes, Jam had been secretly gathering evidence against Durk by wearing a wire. This betrayal was even more surprising because it turned out that Jam had been working with the authorities for years, collecting information on OTF's criminal activities. Once the news came out about OTF Jam's betrayal, people started wondering how he had been able to hide the wire for so long. Some fans joked that he hid it in his large forehead, while others pointed out that technology had moved past the old-school wire. They suggested that modern devices, like voice recorders or even smartphones, could serve as the wire these days. In an interview with DJ Vlad, music executive Wack 100 discussed the situation. He talked about how crazy it was that OTF Jam had been released from prison after 12 years, only to flip on Lil Durk. Wack said Jam had been celebrated by OTF and treated like a hero, with Durk even buying him cars and giving him money. But in the end, Jam had betrayed everyone. Wack's comments were a reminder that loyalty in the streets is not always guaranteed. An old interview with OTF Jam resurfaced around the same time. In the interview, Jam talked about his relationship with Lil Durk, explaining how Durk had supported him during his time in prison. He said Durk's music had kept him motivated and that Durk had helped him financially. This made the betrayal even harder to understand, leaving many people wondering how someone who had once been so loyal could turn against Durk and work with the authorities. The whole situation has left the hip-hop community in shock, and it seems like the drama is far from over. OTF Jam never directly mentioned working with the FBI to bring down Lil Durk, but when he talked about his time in jail, it was obvious he had a strong bond with Durk. He called Durk more than just a friend, he was family. That was bro, OTF Jam said, remembering how Durk had supported him even before the fame. He recalled Durk sending money for his lawyer fees, showing real loyalty, even when things were tough. After OTF Jam got out of jail, rumors spread that Lil Durk had given him $50,000 to help him get his life back together. When OTF Jam was asked about this in an interview, he confirmed that it was true. "Yeah, you know, that's real," he said. But not long after he returned to the OTF family, the shocking truth came out. OTF Jam had been secretly working with the authorities. This betrayal left everyone in shock. Durk never saw it coming. It is always painful when someone you trust turns on you, especially when it's someone who has been by your side for so long. It is very hard to notice a traitor when they have been involved in so many of your mistakes. It feels like a deep betrayal when someone you've trusted, like a childhood friend, turns their back on you. It is like in action movies where the villain is always the enemy from the start. No one expects loyalty from them. But when the betrayal comes from someone you trust, it feels much worse. While I was looking for updates on OTF Jam and why he turned on Durk, I came across something funny. A video showed OTF Jam eating McDonald's in what looked like an interrogation room. Fans quickly started making jokes, and internet trolls jumped in. DJ Academics also joined in, asking his followers to come up with funny captions for the image. One fan joked, "Bro snitched on Durk for a Big Mac and fries," while another added, "You're probably wondering how I got here."
The world is oblivious to this. We've tied this to a bad drug deal. Remember the story?
But the truth is, while fans were busy making jokes about OTF Jam, they didn't realize that Lil Durk had also shared things that could get him in trouble. After King Von's death, fans pushed Durk to take action and get revenge. Academics took advantage of this and asked Durk if the "slide for Von" comments bothered him. Durk, knowing the legal risks involved, kept quiet and did not say anything that could harm him. Academics kept pressing him, trying to get him to slip up, but Durk stayed smart and calm. Fans noticed the tension, though, and saw that even people who seem loyal can turn against you when you least expect it. For some reason, I just do not see those comments anymore. DJ Academic still brings up Lil Durk's lyrics from Nardo Wicks, Who Wants Smoke remix. In the song, Durk responds to the "slide for Von" comments by rapping, "They be on my page like slide for Von, I know they trolling me." Durk thought these comments were just trolling because he believed he had already done what they were talking about when he allegedly took action in the shooting of Quando Rondo's associate, Lil Baby, as revenge for King Von's death. However, Academics kept pressing Durk to talk more about it on his show, and it felt like Durk was avoiding the topic, maybe talking around it, while Academics kept pushing for more. Even though Durk tried to deny everything, after a lot of pressure from Academics, he finally let something slip. When asked about the comments, Durk said, "They kind of chilled out a little bit." Although this comment was subtle, it seemed like his way of admitting the truth without saying it directly. By 2024, everything started to make sense when Durk was arrested in connection to the 2022 shooting that killed Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Baby. 5 people were arrested in connection to the shooting, and things began to fall apart. Federal agents came in and took these men into custody. They were charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire, allegedly as revenge for King Von's death. It looked like the murder was part of a larger plan that started with the tragedy at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta in 2020, which led to King Von's death. The authorities believed this was not just a random act, and they were searching for a way to link Lil Durk to the crime. The charges were very serious: murder for hire, conspiracy, and using a machine gun in a deadly crime. It seemed that the feds had found a connection between Durk and the murder, believing his OTF, Only the Family, label was not only a music group, but also a criminal organization. The indictment named several OTF members who were said to have been involved in the plot to kill Quando Rondo's cousin. This murder was believed to have been planned as revenge for King Von's death. The federal indictment also stated that OTF members used a credit card connected to the label to buy plane tickets, allowing them to travel from Chicago to California once they found out where Quando Rondo was. This revealed how deeply involved the group was in the planning and carrying out of violent acts, allegedly under Durk's direction. The feds also found out that Durk was planning to leave the country. After the arrests of 5 OTF members, it came out that Durk had booked flights to Dubai and Switzerland. However, he never boarded these flights, and the FBI believed they had enough evidence to stop him before he could leave. This arrest marked a big change in the case, and the charges against Durk showed just how deep the criminal activities tied to his label really went. Lil Durk's year has taken a dramatic turn. At the start, he was honored with the key to the village of Broadview, a proud moment in his life. But by the end of the year, he went from receiving this recognition to being locked up behind bars. As if that was not enough, Broadview officials also decided to cut ties with his nonprofit organization, the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. The mayor of Broadview pointed out that, even though the justice system says everyone is innocent until proven guilty, the community's standards were much higher for someone like Durk. This situation shows the harsh reality of living a life tied to gangs. It is not just about losing everything you have worked for, but also seeing your reputation and legacy completely ruined. You could lose the support of the very people you trusted, and if you are unlucky, like King Von, you might even lose your life. In Durk's case, the charges against him could bring down not just him, but his entire OTF label, which could go from being a successful music brand to a symbol of the dark side of gang life. On the internet, some early investigators on Reddit started piecing things together and predicting that OTF could face a Rico case. One person explained that the authorities will try to show that OTF is just a cover for the Black Disciples gang. They believe the feds will charge Durk and others from OTF with crimes, using the ties between the gang and the label to show that OTF is involved in organized crime. Many fans think this will be easy for the authorities to prove because many of the OTF members have clear connections to the Black Disciples. The big question now is whether rap lyrics will be used in the trial, just like they were in the case of Young Thug. It is difficult to use song lyrics as proof of a crime like murder, but in a Rico case, simply showing a link to a gang can help the authorities. The lyrics could help show that OTF is closely tied to the Black Disciples and is involved in feuds with other gangs, like the Southside Gangster Disciples and 051. This situation is serious for Lil Durk and the entire OTF team. If they are found guilty, Durk and the other 5 men charged could face life in prison. Things have taken a very dangerous turn for Durk and his empire.